I like to work on syllables. These are, do you work with the IPA at all?
It's still confusing,
Yeah.
but I'm getting better at it.
So a good kind of starting spot for looking at the IPA is Latin vowels. And I'm
Okay.
sure you've sung some
Yeah.
Latin if you're in Chuck's church choir.
Yeah.
That those look like what they are. So a, e, o, u. That's our starting template right here. But then I've kind of drawn up the rest of what I call the vowel dial here, which if you say like a cat meow,
Meow.
meow.
Okay.
And what this is showing us is the height of the tongue within your resonator.
Okay.
Not the tip of your tongue, but where the height of the shape up, the kind of heaped up shape of your tongue is. As a flutist, I'm sure you're very aware of kind of shaping your airstream, right?
Yes.
Very, very big deal. But the fact that cats say meow is not because they read it in a comic book, it's because they're making a gesture that is consequential.
Yeah.
Right? Starting up here rather high with the height of the tongue, and this would be Heidi's nose, and this would be Heidi in profile here, right? So,
okay.
With perhaps the most surprising being the fact that the oo has a height of tongue that's very comparable to an E. As opposed to ooh, ooh. We're looking to like the active shape of our resonator lies above the tongue and below the hard palate.
Okay.
So I think of it sometimes like in mini golf, like when you hit those white rails and they guide your ball to the ball, that I have sound waves that are coming up from my larynx, which lives right here. It feels like a little pecan in my throat. It's traveling up from my larynx. And then what I would like to do is arrange things so that those sound waves cascade over the hard palate, the roof of my mouth, and out the bell of my instrument. As opposed to making choices that maybe pull some of that sound production or down into this lower jaw, kind of soap-dish area. Or a tongue shape that draws things away from the roof of the mouth, as opposed to really building everything for a very simple cascade up across the ceiling and out the front porch. So we're going to try a little figure. Just sounds like gay-day, 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 like it's a gay day outside today. And the vowel that we're looking at, if I were to write it down in IPA, would be this close A vowel. Sometimes linguists call that the chaos vowel, because as Americans we tend to say, hey. We go too open and then compensate by going too close. So we're going to just really hit, let's try chaos. K. If you had to pick a color from ultraviolet to red, what color might you pick for that vowel? K.
The first thing that comes to mind is purple.
Okay.
K.
I think it's an interesting question, right? Because there's no wrong answer. It's your conception of it. Of course, there's lots of different purples. And frankly, there's a good number of different A vowels too. But to think about this vowel color, E, as like a paint swatch that you're really trying to match. So as we sing this exercise, we're going to sing expecting or hoping or aiming to have that color of a match throughout. Starting on the letter G. Every so slightly, as we approach the end, this vowel is opening towards E. So, E. In advance, expecting that color of purple that you chose
Okay.
to be there for you. Really nice. Can you rest one finger on your chin? So not that you're never allowed to move your jaw, but as a way to kind of expect more of your articulate tongue. Let's see if we can say all of this. Without jawing right there. What do you think? Was it the same color of purple?
It seemed more consistent.
Yeah, let's try it. Good. Can we brighten that up a little bit towards the next thing, next stop on the bus line here is in E. Can you say yay?
Yay. Yay.
I'm going to stop in between. Yay.
Okay.
So literally, if we take the map here, that means at the height of my tongue, I'm asking you to give me an A with a little more heaped up of the tongue.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
Kind of an A and an E state of mind. Terrific, really nice. So I think what happened there, the vowel that you were giving me didn't read as a different shade of purple necessarily, but the partials, the harmonics on it, were a lot more pronounced. So that kind of proximity of the shape of your tongue to the dome of your hard palate, that's the nursery of harmonics and of a kind of air pressure that allows those harmonics to shine. Something I like to, I'm just going to throw this out at you.
Yeah.
Something I like to work with is the concept of undervowel and overvowel. That we have a shape for our pharynx, which is the whole kind of throat area of your voice, and the shape of the overvowel, the thing that we're pronouncing. So that A that I'm hearing would be your overvowel. And the shape that I choose to make in my pharynx, which is that whole kind of vocal tract, is not necessarily that same vowel. Can we try, let's go with an O, speak an O for me. O. And now we're going to whisper an O. And then we're going to go in and out on that whispered O. Do you hear a vowel quality to it?
Yeah.
But because this is air blowing in and out, that shows us that our vocal folds are not together. They're abducted. So that O quality that you're hearing is the quality of your undervowel. The shape of your drum or your instrument. So we can say or, and then we can even go silent with that. And that's really our most resonant shape for that vowel. If I hear a little bit of, that's a little bit of impedance. It's a little bit of constriction that I can hear the quality of the vowel on. But ideally, we would like to build the silent and then say, given that A on top of it. It's a maybe confusing. Let's give it a try. Very nice. So as we do the little tongue choreography that allows us to say g, d, g, d, g, d, we would like to pretty much maintain that O undervowel. Beautiful, really nice color. So have you heard the term chiaroscuro? We really know it from painting, maybe most commonly. Does it ever come up in flute playing?
I haven't heard of it in flute playing.
Do you know what it means in Italian?
No, well, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it means.
So a chiaroscuro, an example of a chiaroscuro painting, has a very bright figure in the foreground and pretty much a black background. So you have a
Okay.
big contrast
Mhm.
between the clearness, the chiaro, and the obscurity, the scuro.
Okay.
You've got this contrast in color. And the classical vocal timbre is known for its chiaro scuro quality. And I think this is what we're looking at here
Mhm.
when we choose, if my overvowel is A, on this A flat 4, I'm going to choose an O for my undervowel so that I have a contrast,
Mhm.
a chiaro scuro
Okay.
contrast
Yeah.
in what I'm doing. Different undervowels are resonant at different pitches.
Mhm.
So we don't need to, we don't need to go into all of that
Okay.
today. But in terms of just really discovering what colors are there for you in your
Yeah.
voice, it's kind of an interesting exercise. Let's have the same thing again. Beautiful. I don't know if you can tell, I feel like the and, which comes after the letter D, is a little de, gede,
Yeah.
gede. Maybe you can switch the word and
Okay.
imagine it as de, ge, de, ge, de, ge.
Okay.
We're still going to start on
Yeah.
the G,
Okay.
but we want to kind of get the airspeed up a little bit
Okay.
on that and. Nice, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that's a paint swatch that just matches throughout.
Mhm.
And really one of the ironic things that singers have to contend with is that we are working with languages. And say, for instance, we're working with our native language.
Mhm.
But our goal, at least as a classical singer, and really in other genres as well, is that we come up with a timbre that is somehow not completely sublimated to what the language does,
Mhm.
but that the language exists on this through timbre, which is kind of instrumental.
Mhm.
The flute sounds like the flute.
Yeah.
So we're kind of looking to find that paradox almost, that we're finding an instrumental quality, the chiaroscuro quality in this case,
Mhm.
that we can articulate text clearly over. It carries, it's clear, therefore our listener understands the text.
Mhm.
That's really pretty. Let's go. Did you notice? Did you fix it? The
Yeah.
first one went data, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't the same color.
Yeah.
So it's also really cool that the singer's instrument changes shape. It changes shape and it changes kind of weather patterns,
Yeah.
the way you use your air in it.
Mhm.
And I suppose many instruments change their weather patterns, but not many instruments change the actual shape
Yeah.
of the instrument,
Mhm.
right? So that's kind of our secret superpower, is that we can customize it.
Yeah.
Can you do this for me? Right, so we have mechanisms,
Mhm.
leverage, that can lower the air pressure inside the vocal tract. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, so we've got ambient air pressure,
Mhm.
and we've got Heidi's air pressure. So that's kind of what I mean when I say weather pattern.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
particular customization. We're looking for generally a kind of low pressure area in the resonator as opposed to
Mhm.
direct current. We're
Yeah.
looking for a little more organization than that. And I think that's happening a little bit as well between G, which you're siphoning really nicely for,
Uh-huh.
and D, which you're kind of blowing on.
Mhm.
Nice. Does that make sense to
Yeah.
you physically?
Oh yeah.
It's really nice.
Mhm.
And I just remember feeling like my mind was blown when I realized that I get to choose. That nobody else is doing
Yeah.
this to my voice.
Mhm.
There's choices that I make. I think, so I'm noticing a lot of getting a bite of air,
Yeah.
which of course makes sense for a
For the
flutist,
flute, yeah.
that you're going to kind of
Mhm.
open around your embouchure, right?
Mhm.
But kind of a cool thing to think about as well is that this doesn't take in air. The expansion of your ribs and the dropping of your diaphragm takes in air.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, we could stay exactly where we end, a freeze frame,
Mhm.
and really maybe turn your attention to releasing your abs,
Mhm.
expanding your ribs. It doesn't need to be Herculean.
Mhm.
It just needs to initiate maybe in a different place so that you have breathers and articulators,
Mhm.
and they are not interchangeable. This has gotten done saying A, and now I'm going to pause it and activate the breathers for that. And the other thing I might offer you there is that we can set things up kind of like, same thing as going, we can set things up for a quick reaction. So that moment of giddy, 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 that rapid inhale
Mhm.
is something that I set up by conditions in advance of it. So it's still, I only have time for a quick breath. I can get more air if I initiate here instead of here, and I can get more air if I kind of start that siphoning feel in the silence before the inhalation. Now I'm demonstrating with a loud inhale to show you where it is, but just as the letter O, silent is great, your silent inhale is also unimpeded. Let's try a couple more beady beadies. Good, so I'm playing with this 1-5 for the new key. Let's say that the 1 is silence and the 5 is your inhale.
Okay.
All right? I think of that as rolling to a stop. That we come to the end of your exercise, beady, beady, beady. I think wind players are really good at that moment, where you're still kind of engaged.
Yeah.
And then you put
and
your
then you breathe,
instrument down, right? All right. Stop. Very nice. That makes some good sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, terrific. So I think that that's kind of an overlooked treasure. A treasure that gets left by the side of the road a little too often for singers, is playing the offset, the vocal offset, which is this onset of silence. That moment is part of my vocal phrase, or part of your musical phrase, depending on one of your many instruments, right? But we want to make sure that it's not simply, I'm done singing and I'm doing something.
Yeah.
We're still playing the air. We're playing, the element that we find ourselves in. Beautiful. Really nice job on registration, which is one of those things like, why would I even bring it up if you're doing a really good job of it? But just as we go on up on beady, 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 I want to talk just a little bit about general shape of your resonator, which I think of as either divergent front or divergent back. Opening this way, opening that way. I think of it as if my molars were 2x2s, and they can be parallel, or they can be divergent front, or they can be divergent back. And it doesn't have to be this and this. It's just not parallel. Anything that's not parallel is some kind of divergence.
Mm-hmm.
So that switch happens around kind of acoustic moments that have to do with the vowel that you're on,
Mm-hmm.
which, like I said, you're doing instinctively. But let's try gady, gady, gady again. And I'm going to give you the information. We're in the key of E flat.
Mm-hmm.
That the first keys are going to be divergent front. Yes, the key of F is going to be parallel and then divergent front. And the key of G flat is going to be divergent back, divergent front. So the first vowel formant for the A vowel is that C5. Yeah. So divergent front on gady, gady, gady. Is like a guaranteed abundance of Heidi color.
Yeah.
As you go over that. So we're not like paying a toll tax. If you're just kind of, so I refer to that as resonance strategies, depending on the vowel you're on and where that shift comes. That plays into my resonance strategies. If we were singing the word Alleluia, each one of those vowels has its first formant at a different pitch level. So I think your instinct would lead you on what I call the resonant path. You would make the shape that creates the color that you want. But not everybody is that instinctively adaptive, maybe. So let's try this on beady, beady, beady again, where just were. And here's the information for an E. Your formant for the E vowel is on the third of this key of B.
Okay.
So I'm starting divergent back, parallel, since I'm filming this, I'd be happy to send you a little link if you want to kind of look back over our notes again afterwards. But let me show you where these formants are real quick. So if you start with a C major root, right here in the middle of the piano, first inversion, open voicing.
Yeah.
And then we say meow, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So E and U are approximately here. A and O are approximately here. Ah is approximately here. So my ah, and your ah too, is going to feel divergent front all the way up to the top of the staff.
Yeah.
Whereas my oo vowel is going to be divergent back a whole tenth below that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? So if we think of consonants, at least, as kind of pivot points, as whatever consonant we're saying, gay, day, gay, day, gay, day, is an opportunity to re-decide what my resonance strategy is going on.
Yeah.
That works out well then for Alleluia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I never would have even thought about that. It makes so much sense, and
it makes so much sense.
Clicks.
And not only that, it's like old news. People were talking about vowel formants. That's been analyzed for 100 years, and yet it doesn't seem to show up in vocal technique too much. We're getting it some in voice pedagogy classes now, but the link between what is it and how do I work with it is a little not smooth yet. But you just gave me a wonderful demonstration of that.
Yay! Yeah.
Cool. Let's try I can't wait to hear the top of your voice, because it would just move along so easily there. Can we try, we're gonna go an octave up.
Okay.
Ooh, wah.
Okay.
So it's like saying wah, wah, wah.
Mhm.
Ooh. Good for you. So 2 beats, 1, 1. Beautiful. So we think about airspeed as correlating to the frequency of the note that we're on. That ooh on the bottom is relatively stiller air
Yeah.
than a note an
Yeah.
octave up.
Mhm.
That changes a little bit depending on vowels, but basically, same thing as flute, right?
Yeah.
You overblow the octave,
Yep.
right? This ooh, so quiz, are you ready? Is on B3. Is it above or below its first vowel formant?
It is below.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah.
So is it divergent front or divergent back?
Front.
Yeah. So even though we've got ooh that we're used to thinking of as ooh,
Yeah.
in order for it to have a balanced resonance,
Uh-huh.
we have to make some choices so that the feel of the resonator is actually divergent front. Then we come up to the ooh on top, ooh ah. That ooh on top is divergent back.
Mhm.
So ooh ah. Let's try ooh. Beautiful. So whenever we improve any little phoneme, which means like a sound,
Mhm.
along the way for better balanced resonance, all of a sudden we feel that our air is more kind of abundant,
Yeah.
copious air to
Uh-huh.
use, right? That was really lovely, a nice job on the ooh down there. So we can make an ooh, divergent back, ooh, but it maybe is very useful in a choral ensemble,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be your choice as a vocal soloist because they can't hear it very well.
Mhm.
Good, let's go over this one more time. So on this top note, we have the equivalent of W, wah, right? See if you can go a little slower mo
Okay.
through wah, and
Uh-huh.
stop at the very first thing that can possibly pass for an ah.
Okay.
Wah, and use that.
Okay.
Let's do it again. Yeah, so we're going to have a feeling of ooh, divergent back on top. Ooh.
Yeah.
And I want to, you ever been on a balance board at the gym? Kind
Yeah.
of like a wobble board? We kind of want to feel it like that. Ooh.
Okay.
Beautiful. So we're looking for your homogeneous classical timbre and technique,
Uh-huh.
we're looking for the things that have the most in common possible,
Mhm.
as opposed to trying to make the biggest difference
Yeah.
between ooh and ah. That was excellent. So you see vibrato coming in there
Yeah.
in a kind of whoa
Yeah.
way as well.
Uh-huh.
But vibrato is simply a result of the combination of shape and breath management as you go. So that's something that you can regulate.
Yeah.
But we love it when the vibrato rate is consistent throughout. It means that whatever other variables have happened, I know how to compensate for them, and the proof of it
Mhm.
is that my vibrato is consistent. It's very beautiful, really nice tone. I used to think that there might be a little, like, I'm not a voice major, I'm a flute major, reluctance to sound like a voice major. You can let that
Okay.
Be a little older.
Okay.
Just like a
Yeah.
year older. It's also on a C. This is way too much info, but come back over here one more time. Do you remember where the vowel's first formant is?
Oh, wasn't it G?
G5,
Yeah.
that's the one, right? So that means that on this G, there's also a timbre change, because as I'm singing this note on I'm also singing that second harmonic, right?
Okay.
So it's being picked up by this formant.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise this, likewise this.
Okay.
They all have this timbre in common. But as soon as I get here, I lose the second harmonic.
Okay.
So the quality of this note is a little flutier,
Okay.
a little less oboe-y,
Yeah.
a little more fluty.
Okay.
Let's try it again.
Okay.
Nice. Really love the sensation of W.
Cool.
Right there, yeah? So we've got like this outside skin of our lips, and we've got the smooth, shiny inside skin of our lips. And we want that to be the thing that is acting on the acoustics.
Okay.
Wah, wah, wah. I'm literally kind of drawing the air through, like through a chimney flue, wah, by the use of that shape.
Okay.
Terrific. So that gives you this a degree of nuance to choose. I declare that this is right?
Yeah.
Now we've gotten there. The undervowel is changing from an E on this low one to an
Yeah.
on this high one. Good for you. Terrific. So as we come down the scale, I really like that octave. Sounds really nice up there. We're really looking for, the higher we go in your range, a kind of feeling of mismatch, that you've got faster air that you are managing with the shape of your resonator. So allow that to happen.
Okay.
Allow that kind of oscillation, we call it vibrato, to happen.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. As we come down on this is kind of interesting. We're in the key of D. We've got that quality of an and we got an which on this A4, which is kind of similar. On the F sharp, however, we've regained our second harmonic. So it has a little bit more oboe in it for the last two notes.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's lovely stuff. Okay, so we are now in the key of E flat, which means that your ooh on the bottom is going to be kind of parallel as opposed to divergent front. It's going to feel a little straitjacketed.
Okay.
Straitjacketed on the Good for you. Ooh again. Very nice. So the other cool thing about the undervowel is that it can start, it's like a different bus line.
Yeah.
It can start changing while you're still singing that vowel on that note, but it kind of prefigures where you're heading next. I hear you absolutely doing that on ooh.
Yeah.
Do you do that in flute playing?
You can. It's much more of a subconscious thing, I think,
Yeah.
for me.
And that's the way, again, we would like it to be, that's just kind of instinctive.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of my students, it bears saying out loud that holding a note doesn't mean changing nothing
Yeah.
during it,
Mhm.
right? So we've got this going on, ooh, ah, and then we kind of have ah.
Yeah.
I feel inclined to make the move that's coming up. As far as ensemble with your fine pianist goes, I can hear your undervowel moving. So don't wait for me
Okay.
for the new note.
Okay.
I can hear when
Okay.
you're ready to go on. That's the awesome thing. Okay. So this note of this ooh on the bottom, although it's parallel, we would like to pretty much maintain that
Okay.
open horn.
Mhm.
Even when it goes divergent back, I think of it a little bit as an umbrella handle.
Okay.
That I've got that horn to balance out
Okay.
the fast air. Really lovely. So this is a model of your vocal folds. Can you put your pointer fingers out there?
Yes.
Yeah. So we say, we don't say vocal cords anymore because they're not wires like in the piano.
Yeah.
They're kind of wedges of brie cheese
Okay.
in your vocal tract. So this is what you would see looking down on it from above,
Mhm.
but it actually has a depth of adduction as well. So that oscillating vocal folds have this whole y-axis to them
Mhm.
as well. When we breathe, they're abducted, and when we sing or when we make an organized sound, they're abducted, right? They also then, if you can imagine holding a rubber band, that I can stretch longer and shorter and longer and shorter. For a higher pitch, they're stretched tauter and longer, and for a lower pitch, they're kind of chunkier. They're shorter and chunkier, allows for that lower abduction on the y-axis, right? So there are no separate notes to be hit in the nature of the singing voice, but rather we're only moving along a continuum.
Yeah.
So as you sing down this arpeggio, it would be idiomatically correct and beautiful to hear, oh, sorry,
Okay.
I think of it a little bit as like the wind beneath your wings, or
Okay.
the wind under Aladdin's magic carpet.
Mhm.
As I go from note to note. Rather than the air drops out, I hold on, and then I plummet to meet
Yeah.
it.
Ah.
So the goal would be, in a way, that the undervowel is continuously morphing. That'll keep you from dropping and catching. Really good job. I don't know if you could hear how helpful that little bit of a horn was on the ooh. Really nice. Same key. Beautiful. Got a lovely vibrato rate up there now.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can keep it as you journey to the fifth.
Okay.
It's so hard. It's so hard to not hold and release.
Yeah.
So we want to think a little goofier.
Okay.
Oh, woe is me. To allow that vibrato.
Okay.
This is all really lovely. probably work. I loved how you gave the ah more front divergence that time. Yeah. We're gonna pop up one more half step. The ooh down here is now divergent back. Ooh. And the ah is, as it has been, divergent front. So though we like for them to have a lot in common, we want to get two divergent front for the ah. That goofiness, right?
I can do.
You got goofy in you somehow, right? So that ah is gorgeous. It's so happy to be in its balanced, you know, best resonance. Okay, be brave. Keep this horn like an umbrella handle, even though you're divergent back. Ooh, there's even a name for this. It's called labial resonance. Makes sense, right? That little kind of, I think of it as an awning. There's a little area between the inner surface of my upper lip and that front surface of the incisors. Ooh. Sounds like super soupy, right?
Yeah.
But what we're literally hearing is that your airspeed stays high as you
go down,
as you change shape to come down, as opposed to the other way where your airspeed drops, and then you reluctantly chase it. So don't do that in Chuck's choir. But really, the thing that we are after then is to have that high airspeed and the move happen more economically. But there's a big difference between superabundant airspeed controlled by shape versus insufficient airspeed that is held up there by force of, you know. Very, very nice. I want to make sure that I get to hear if you brought a song.
Yes.
Let's see if we can do that.
I did. I brought two, but I think this one's more appropriate for
here and now. Oh, isn't this a beautiful song? All right. Cool. Thank you so much for bringing this very beautiful song, sung so musically with so much commitment to it. what I noticed most immediately was that you might have fun going through here and just kind of playing the first formant game of divergence.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, more, I'll sing no more. FYI, as if I hadn't already given you too much information, the N and the M are divergent back, and the O is divergent front. No more.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I accept the N, no more, for the O, I don't get a very stable or a very highly colored O.
Yeah.
No more.
Okay.
Yeah? Another cool thing really is that the composer himself puts in the Luftpause, the little comma after accept at the end, and you're not taking that breath, which is very admirable, but I don't think it's better without the breath.
Okay.
I think because it's song as opposed to a bel canto aria, the composer is asking for accept what? So we want to own those moments because, you know, a lot of times it's just about unfurling your big glorious sound. I'm also hearing in this area around the C5.
That's like my pistachio area.
Okay, so this is, you know, we got one session together.
Yeah.
Here's what I have to say about the passaggio area.
Oh, yeah.
It's very well known, and generally the idea is to stay compact through your passaggio, which can be anything from E flat to F, or C to F sharp, or something in that area there. What I want to kind of point out to you is that is after the first vowel formant for the A and the O, but below the first vowel formant for the A.
Okay.
So it's a possibility to just think compact through there, or we can be a little more specific than that and just make sure that we're customizing as it goes. But what I'm hearing in particular is that as you approach consonants when you're in this area, the vowel is changing as you approach the consonant.
Okay.
So I want to kind of track that with your excellent ear, that I could never sing again. That as you approach a consonant, it's like a portable umbrella folding up.
Yeah.
You want it to still be an umbrella as it approaches that consonant.
Yeah.
How about, can we go, let's go from your entrance at the top again.
Okay.
Here's your cue.
When I have sung my songs to you, I'll sing no more.
Yeah. Oh. Get that awning up there. Show me some teeth, right, for that divergent front. So when the word when has a W sound, which is divergent back, ooh, and an E that is divergent front, and an N that is divergent back, and an A for I that is divergent front. I have sung my songs. So anyway, you want to find that balance board and see where your instinct takes you. S is divergent front, E and NG is divergent back. Sing no more. Yeah, good. I really like the beginning. I think the word my betrayed you just a little bit.
Yeah.
So we want ma, and then I want you to think about this little, it's called a diphthong, right? The A part of it, as being pronounced on the back part of your tongue. My songs, my songs. When I have sung my songs to you, I'll sing no more. T'would be a sacrilege to sing another. Good. You are experimenting Yeah? So all of these are just a strategy away.
Yeah.
This kind of ringiness, which is so beautiful. I'm looking at the word door. That's
yeah.
another door. So I like to use this vowel, which looks weird. It's a number 3.
Yeah.
Door. I call that like her servants. And I like to think of it as a proxy R.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say door, which is like half O and half R.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm going to let it rhyme with lawnmower,
Door. Okay.
So I'm really going to hold a truer O, door,
okay,
and then be done with that. Let's do to sing, which is going to be t, u, s, ing. There you go.
Okay.
So sustain on the O when we save the as part of your offset gesture. That let's do the same thing again. It's really great. A little more front.
Okay.
To. I think it's really just a matter of that umbrella handle.
Yeah.
Instead of to. We've worked so hard. Sorry. We've worked so hard to hold our dreams. Did that work for you?
Yeah.
To hold. This one. Hold. I would say watch out on O in general.
Okay.
For yanking that down.
Yeah.
If it's below the horn, let's keep that horn open. O-U-R is also a tricky thing. Hold, I think it's a triphthong. Like our hall.
Yeah.
So the first thing we want is a good ah. We've worked. We've worked so let's get all the way to the oo, right? Auga. Watch out for the W's. They're divergent. Back, please.
Okay.
We've worked. We've worked so hard to hold our dreams. Just you here. The word just, when it comes up in song texts, is always like money in the bank, but you have to really kind of put a lot of pleading into it.
Okay.
Just. As I watch you sing it, you're making the j, but then you're also kind of ripping open ja.
Okay.
Just. So that you're playing that whole bend of it. I'm also hearing the oo vowel of you being a little tongue forward. You. Remember this one? How about that downbeat? A little more wise old owl in the woods.
Okay.
To that this is really tricky. I want you to be centered for the vowel of that It's going to feel not that I, but that I. Here's the bar starting on thought. Consonants.
Yeah.
The T while tending the color
Okay.
paint swatch of the a.
Yeah.
And then could rhymes with good, not could, but could. Let's do it one more time for good luck there. That in general, you know, we found that first vowel formant for the and it's way high.
Yeah.
In general, if you encounter an you're going to want to center it again rather than chasing it short.
Okay.
That I could never. Good for you. One more little question, that is that for the word I, we're going to say the diphthong on the back surface of your tongue. Wonderful, good for you. So we're up so high now. No, was really nicely done. We're going to approach the letter V in a divergent back shape. No, and exit it in a divergent back shape.
Okay.
We approach those consonants and we choose spoken patterns instead of resonant strategies. That line, that I could. It's going that, the at. Like 4/16 notes of
Okay.
For that ooh.
Okay.
We would like for these pitches right here, we would like an A undervowel.
Okay.
Silent A. Ooh on top of it. Except was really nice. Good for you for taking the time. We've got a very German ending here. It has a P and a T. Except 2 hits.
Okay.
So we're going to watch out for the ooh vowel, that it's not held where the Y is.
Okay.
But it goes to where an ooh lives, right? I'm not going to go there right now, but never was really nice. The other thing that we would love to hear is that as you execute that divergent back V, that kind of continuous vibrato is present. But we're just kind of, I think that is a constant in an algebra equation, my V, my vibrato, that whatever choices I'm making, they allow that constant. Except, and kind of, it feels like you're running around with your midriff showing or something. You have to really just go in there. So the ooh vowels, the centered ah. What else did we work on that you thought was vivid and helpful?
Oh, at the beginning, are just connecting the consonants and the vowels, because I know I have a tendency to speak every word and every consonant. So just thinking of it as one line, I think also made it easier to sing because I'm not closing off anything to get the consonants out.
So literally, like the idea of closing to a consonant, I like to refine that a little bit towards the idea of every phoneme, which includes a consonant, is on the resonant path. If I had made that choice, my air thinks everything's hunky-dory. It's not been put the brakes on. The brakes haven't been put on my air. So it's not a problem to close to a consonant, it's just a problem to close to the consonant in a non-resonant way. And the crazy thing is when something like this busy bar, when I have sung my songs to you, starts to feel like you're all in one bath, you're in one bucket
Yeah.
of beautiful ringing Heidi sound. Kind of doesn't matter what the words are, because your instrument is playing right on through it. Yeah, very, very lovely stuff. So the vowel formants again, we've got E, A, A, O, U, and it's just as important to stay divergent front all the way up to that A, as it is to make sure to turn early enough, low enough on the E and the U, right? This idea of a little bit of a horn as a balancing thing allows us to, it's kind of a gesture of respect to your listener, that no matter what else I'm doing, I know it's my obligation to be heard. You keep that horn going.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Don't think so. I have so much information. I love it. I love it.
Good. Well, it's a dump. It's a dump of information, and generally I feel like I'm going to lay it out there, but also let the student know you do not need to internalize this and master it all right away, because that's going to come up again in the next lesson, and the next lesson, and the next lesson. It's all really the same toolbox.
Yeah.
Getting your instrument to ring and be balanced, and then you just pick whatever repertoire you like and play with it like that. Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yep.